Hi everybody and welcome. I am Candace Fields. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. In today's project, we're going to make this card and I'm going to show you how to make the Crackled Paint gold paper. We are going to be using products from the upcoming occasions catalog. So we have the Let It Ride. This has become one of my favorite stamp sets. I just love it. And then the Crackled Paint, which has become my second most favorite um, stamp set. Okay, so for this card, you're going to need, and all the measurements are going to be on my blog, on the coordinating blog post. But you're going to need a piece of thick Whisper White, and this is cut out at 5.5 by 8.5, and then you're going to score at 4.25. So that's going to be your card base. You're going to need Whisper White pieces here. So you're going to need one piece. This is actually 4.25 by 5.5, but we're going to cut it down to 4 by 5.25. Then you're going to need another piece of Whisper White at let me see, I wrote it down here, at 3.25 by 4.5, and then you're going to be left with this piece, and this is just this a scrap piece, and this is big enough to do your sentiment. And then for your soft suede, you're going to need a piece cut out at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. Okay, so we're going to start with doing the Crackled Paint background. And for this, I'm going to use my Stamparatus. Okay. Now I don't have any of the grid paper. I haven't bought any yet. So I'm just going to, I just cut down a sheet to be 7 by 7. And I'm going to use that. Okay, I'm going to place that there. Okay. My table is a bit of a mess. I have everything everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to use some Versamark ink. But first, what I'm going to do is, before I forget, I'm going to take my embossing in here. I meant to do that first. Okay, just want to make sure. So it doesn't matter that that moved, as long as I don't touch it again. So you're just going to fill this up, ink this up all the way through. You just want to make sure you get some really good coverage, especially on your sides. Okay. Okay, and then my paper got stuck right here, but that is okay. Let me move over a little bit. Okay, good. So you really can't see it right now. You may be able to see it. Okay, I will clean this off a little later. We're gonna go ahead and get the embossing done. And I had it yesterday, but apparently I've lost it. Oh. Okay. So I got this here. And I'm using the gold embossing powder, and I keep mine in these little containers here. Okay. I'm just trying to find a really good spot where I can put my hand at. I think some of the ink got a little bit smeared. Okay. And then you're going to start with seeing this turn gold. And you do want to make sure, especially because of the kind of ink stamp set this is, that you do have, that you did emboss all of it, because it's really easy to miss a piece. Okay. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and trim up the sides that I don't want to use. Because it looks a little bit messier on this side, I'm not going to use that side, and I'm not going to use this edge here. So I'm just trimming this up. Okay, and just to be 4 1/4. Okay. And there you go. And that is your background. So now we're going to take the other large Whisper White piece. I don't need this now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to line this up here. Grab a magnet. Okay. So with this one, you can actually stamp them both at the same time. We're going to put our big horse right there. And then we're going to add in our, actually, our smaller horse. Okay. Use this, and we're going to be using a memento because we're going to be coloring with the stamping blends. Let me make sure that this did not move. I think I set off something. Looks a little off. Okay. Now you're going to want to add some pressure here. Okay. And I just need to clean these off real quick. Now I actually do have a stamping scrub, but when I'm using my Stamparatus, I do like just to pull out one of my other little wipes. Okay. And then I'm just going to pull these up. You don't want to leave these on because they can and will stick. That was not good. Okay, so we can put the Stamparatus away. Okay, so for our markers, we are going to be using light soft suede, dark soft suede, and that's going to be for our big horse, dark crumb cake, and light old olive. Okay, so when I'm coloring, one of the things that I like to do, depending on the image, is because they gave us the pieces that need to be highlighted here, I'm just going to go in with my dark. Okay, I don't try to make it perfect. I'm trying to be a little bit careful here because right now I have nerve issues that affect my hands. And right now it's going off. I'm a little bit cold. I find when I'm cold, my hands hurt the most when I'm cold. I'm just going to try to get in there, get these little spots. Okay, get in there. I'm going to get these ears. And I'm going to come in on the side of his face. So now I want to come in with my light soft suede and color in the rest of my horse. Now you can do multiple rounds to get the right amount of shading that you need. I typically don't, just because I'm impatient. Unless I really see a need, and I did not mean to go outside the lines right there. But there's a way to fix that too with your colorless blender, but I'm afraid I'll mess this up even more if I do it right now. I'm just trying to blend out those dark spots. Okay. I love coloring. It's very soothing at times. And the reason why I'm coloring in so much is just to help blend out those colors. Okay. Like a little bit more needs to be done. Okay. And so now I'm going to take my dark crumb cake. Now on my sample, I actually did both dark and light, but I found that because of how small these lines are, it's easier just to work with one color. Because then as this dries, you can always go in with the same marker and highlight or darken the areas that you want to be darker. Okay. Ooh. I'm sorry, my hands are really hurting. Okay. And I am finished with that. Okay. So, I had to take a little break there with my hand. So now with the old olive, I'm just going to come in here and just do some of this grass. Okay. And so the sentiment, ooh, I did not clean that good enough. The sentiment that we're going to use is this one here, that says, live as if someone left the gate open. Is this the, let me make sure this was the block that I was using. I think it was. Okay. Well, I guess we're still gonna find out. So we're gonna use this strip here, and we're gonna ink this up in the memento. Okay. And then I think this is the banner punch. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come in. I want to get this as close as possible without hopefully messing up my sentiment. Okay, and I want that just to be a tad bit shorter. Okay. So now we're going to start assembling our card. Okay. So we got our card based here. I hope everybody enjoyed their holidays. It was nice over here. We had a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to, and I'm going to use the multi-purpose glue. I've been having some issues with the Tombow, no, this is the mono adhesive, with the snail glue. And it could be most likely just the weather here in Virginia, the way that it's been, because your adhesive also depends on the climate of where you live. And so, because there's been a couple of issues, I started just using the liquid adhesive. And liquid adhesive is actually very easy to use because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, I was about to say, I hope I cut this down right. Oh, goodness gracious. Move over. Okay, I think I got it. I may have cut this a little bit smaller than I should have. But it's gonna have to work. Okay, this one appears to be right. And the one thing I like about the liquid adhesive, I mean, a little bit goes a long way. You don't have to apply a whole lot to get a good stick on your projects. Okay. gonna make sure that this is straight. Okay. Then I'm gonna have to talk to I might have to go see a neurologist again. I know I have carpal tunnel. I know that much. I've known that for years, but it just seems to be getting worse. And my left hand is my dominant hand, and so when your dominant hand starts to feel like it's going out, you kind of got to get that straight. Okay, now I'm going to put this, bring this. Now, the only reason why I had a little bit of issue with this is because I don't want my grass and stuff being hidden. So I'm actually going to come in. I'm going to trim this up just a tad bit. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this up a bit. That's just gonna have to work, because I want some of the grass and his feet showing. Okay, and then I'm using some of the mini dimensionals here. And then this is going to actually finish up my card for today. And I know this is like a little bit of a longer video because I actually went through the whole process of coloring and stuff without speeding it up. So I hope you enjoy that because I usually don't do extra long videos like that. So I hope you enjoy. So this is so fun. So on January 3rd, you will be able to order from the New Occasions catalog. You're going to want to make sure you get the Let It Ride stamp set along with the Crackled paint, because those are just so amazing. And I just love how this just looks like a designer, a piece of designer series paper. Okay, so thank you for joining me today. Bye-bye.